Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Russian naval and land forces practice swiftly moving military hardware and troops to Crimea as part of a logistics exercise. Medicines Sans Frontiers decides to evacuate its staff from Yemen due to the deteriorating situation. And Oman oil price continues its increase for the 5th consecutive day. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Dr. János Ádár of Hungary on his country's National Day. The Russian Defense Ministry said today it had successfully fired a ballistic missile from an advanced Iskander-M mobile launch system as part of a training exercise in the country's Far East. Its two guided missiles have a range of up to 500 kilometers and can carry either conventional or nuclear warheads. The Russian Defense Ministry said Russian naval and land forces have practiced swiftly moving military hardware and troops to Crimea as part of a logistics exercise which foreshadows much larger war games there next month. President Vladimir Putin flew into Crimea today, where he planned to hold a meeting with his Security Council. Syrian government warplanes bombed Kurdish-held areas of the northeastern city of Hasaka for the first time in the country's 5-year-old civil war, killing at least 13 people. The Syrian Kurdish YPG militia and a monitoring group, a crucial partner in the US-led war against Daesh militants, said it would not be silent over what it called an act of flagrant aggression. There was no immediate comment from the Syrian government. Government forces were also bombarding Kurdish districts of Hasaka with artillery, and there were fierce clashes in the city. The Arab coalition expressed deep regret over a decision by Medicines Sans Frontiers (MSF) to evacuate staff from northern Yemen, and said it was trying to set up urgent meetings with the medical aid group. MSF said it was evacuating its staff from 6 hospitals in northern Yemen after a coalition airstrike hit a health facility operated by the group, killing 19 people. The coalition said it was committed to respecting international humanitarian law in all its operations in Yemen and had set up an independent team to investigate incidents in which civilians are killed. MSF is one of a handful of international medical aid groups operating on the ground in Yemen. Palestinian police say 2 of their officers were slain by Palestinian criminals who were later killed in a shootout in the West Bank. Spokesman Adnan Dmeiri said the criminals shot and killed 2 officers and wounded 2 others yesterday. A chase to catch the killers ended early this morning in a shootout in Nablus. 2 policemen were killed in the city a month ago in a similar incident that illustrates the growing lawlessness in the West Bank. Palestinian police have struggled to crack down on widespread illegal gun possession in the territory. The Palestinian Authority says it is determined to maintain security and order in the parts of the territory under its control. Around 30 elements were killed and 39 others were wounded from Taliban militants during clashes with Afghan forces in Baghran province of Afghanistan. Local media mentioned that at least 19 Afghan militants, including leaders, were killed in an operation in Kunduz province, northeast Afghanistan. The United Nations said its mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, carried out an extraction operation to move former South Sudanese Vice President Riek Machar from one location to another within the DRC. Speaking to media in New York, UN Deputy Spokesman Farhan Haq had this to say.
The information we have is that Riek Machar has been handed over to the authorities in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We're not in a position to confirm his location. As soon as the UN mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, MONUSCO, was alerted of the presence of Riek Machar in the DRC, the mission contacted the DRC authorities, who requested MONUSCO to facilitate his extraction and transfer to their care. We can confirm that an operation was undertaken by MONUSCO on humanitarian grounds to facilitate the extraction of Riek Machar, his wife, and 10 others from a location in the DRC in support of the DRC authorities. And like I said, right now, he has been handed over to the DRC authorities, and he's with them. He needed to be moved safely from one spot to another, and MONUSCO was it was felt that MONUSCO was the best party that could move him from one area to another one. It was an area close to the border with South Sudan.
Volunteers aboard a Spanish humanitarian aid vessel rescued 81 migrants from small dinghies off the Libyan coast, including one boat that was sinking. The migrants, which included many children, came mainly from Syria or Bangladesh and were found floating in an area of the Mediterranean about 40 kilometers north of Sabratha, Libya. The bodies of 5 drowned passengers were later found by the Italian Coast Guard. Meanwhile, Greece's Coast Guard rescued dozens of migrants today whose boat ran aground on a deserted islet off the coast of southwestern Greece. The boat, carrying about 70 people, ran aground overnight on the tiny islet of Sapienza. Coast Guard vessels ferried them to the mainland where they were to be registered. The Daian tropical storm swept through the northern Vietnamese city of Haiphong and the Thai Binh province, packed with strong winds 60 to 90 kilometers per hour, with gusts at about 30 meters per second. The Daian storm is forecast to move westward at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour in the next 12 hours, affecting Vietnam's northern and north-central areas. The Vietnamese capital of Hanoi recorded a heavy rainfall of 100 millimeters to 200 millimeters. The tropical storm will be downgraded into a tropical depression by tomorrow morning and will bring torrential rains to the northern and north-central parts of the country. Still to come in our news bulletin. A low-cost device is becoming an essential part of a doctor's toolkit in India's capital city, New Delhi.
هنا الرائحة العالقة بالذاكرة تأخذنا دهشة مختلفة لتبهرنا بجمالها الآسر حيث ملتقى الأسرة. امنح نفسك شغف التجربة، فهنا حكاية الجمال لا تنتهي. مهرجان صلال السياحي 2016 من 15 من يوليو إلى 31 من أغسطس. عمان، المحبة والوئام.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Oman oil price October delivery increased by 28 cents compared to yesterday's price. Dubai Mercantile Exchange said that Oman oil stood at $47 and 48 cents per barrel. The average price for September delivery is $43 and 40 cents per barrel, declining $3 and 20 cents compared to August delivery. Brahmi Fish Market is one of the significant markets for citizens and residents of the Walaya and neighbouring areas which provide them the various types of fish. Local fish represent the main source of the market, in addition to some neighbouring markets. However, the market suffers in some times of the year from shortage of the quantity of fish. Some health requirements are also not followed in the market, such as ventilation, general hygiene and enough space for the movement of buyers, especially during peak times. Citizens pointed out that there is no sole body responsible for running this market, as several government bodies share responsibility towards the market, such as the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth and Brahmi Municipality, which hinder the development of the market. They also called for the establishment of other fish markets in the governorate of Brahmi due to its considerable population growth. Leadership, creativity and innovation are values sought by the German University of Technology in Muscat to instill on more than 100 students through its summer academic program. Students came from various wilayas of the Sultanate. The conclusion ceremony of the program was held under the auspices of Honorable Sheikh Dr. Al-Khattab bin Ghalib Al-Hinai, Deputy Chairman of the State Council. The 3-week program gave the participants the opportunity to develop their academic and leadership skills and capabilities through various social and entertainment activities. It also aimed to develop their skills in English and German languages. An exhibition was also held by students that displayed their creative works. Air-conditioned clinics are offering high-tech and free medical tests in Delhi as the public health system is too slow and unable to face the needs of the Indian capital's low-income people. Here is a report.
A humble government clinic in Delhi that houses the latest technology. This asthma patient needs a blood test, ordered by a doctor after receiving his details by tablet. The sample is analysed with a small device, which uploads the results for diagnosis.
As soon as he presses upload, the tablet result goes to the doctor's tablet, and then the doctor sees the result, and according to the result, she prescribes the tablet.
The whole process takes less than 30 minutes. The low-cost device can perform 50 common medical tests, from checking a patient's blood sugar to testing for malaria or hepatitis. The system is slowly becoming an essential part of these doctors' toolkit.
You can't say it's a 100% switch yet. It's a learning process. It's time-saving. The patient comes in, you just have to click. The diagnosis is already with us. He tells us the problem, we note it down, and it's less time-consuming, so we can give more time to each patient.
A pharmacist then accesses an electronic prescription and the patient collects the medicine for free. The multi-test device is the brainchild of an Indian-born engineer who left a well-paid job in the US to try and improve healthcare for the poor back at home. It costs less than $1,000 and has been trialled in 11 countries.
We have some active partnerships right now in Africa and a few more that are going on in South America where this is going to come up, but also in the developed world, places like England, places like US, we've actually seen a demand for technology like this.
The device is currently being used at one flagship clinic in Delhi, with plans to roll it out to 100 across the Indian capital. It is potentially life-changing for the city's poor, who can't afford private doctors and have to endure long waits for public health care.
At big government hospitals, there are too many people. You have to register your number, and after you have to wait for almost 2 hours. This is near where I live. All the facilities are available here for free.
It is a small step in the right direction for India, which at the moment spends less on healthcare than even war-torn Afghanistan.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with scattered rain over the Hajar Mountains, desert areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and Worcester. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over the coasts of Sea of Oman, while on the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea it will be southwesterly moderate to active. Seas will be rough along the coasts of the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 4 meters and slight to moderate along the rest of the coasts with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. see Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Russian naval and land forces practice swiftly moving military hardware and troops to Crimea as part of a logistics exercise. Medicine Sans Frontiers decides to evacuate its staff from Yemen due to the deteriorating security situation. And Oman oil price continues its increase for the 5th consecutive day. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.